Ooh, back. Let's try that one more
Back.
time. Back. Welcome back to Lombardi Sweep. Luke Reimer and myself, Zach Bruner here. We're finally at the regular season here. We made it through 3 weeks of preseason games. We made it through the bye week, which always feels really weird between the third preseason game and the regular season. But now is when the party starts. And last week, we talked about, hey, this doesn't feel like a contender. The only thing, anything short of trading for Micah Parsons feels like this Packers completely lied to us in terms of actually contending for a championship. And then, we said that Wednesday. Was it Friday?
Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it might have been the day after. Goot's like, you know what?
These guys are right.
They're right. Yeah. When have these guys been wrong before? So then pulled the trigger. Packers trade for Micah Parsons. And that is what we'll talk about first. We got some other fun stuff coming. So if you are just showing up, if you watch this after the fact, we're going to talk Micah Parsons. We're going to preview the Lions game in week 1. We're going to pick each of us our game-by-game prediction for the Packers season. And then we're going to end with Lambeau Field has some new food items. I did not pre-read this list. Luke is just finding out about this list. So we're going to go through them and obviously just see what there is. And then we're going to rate them on how bad. We'll see how bad we want to try them, how good we think they'll be. I'm not sure.
I love stadium food, so I'm probably gonna want to try a lot of these.
Sure.
We'll see what it sounds like.
Yeah. I'm fine with giving them all 10s if they all earn 10s. I don't think it needs to be like relative to other stadium foods.
Agreed.
We're about giving out good grades here, I think. But let's talk Micah Parsons. So we said if the Packers trade anything for Micah Parsons, and it's probably 2 first-round picks and a starter, we cannot like judge this trade in terms of what we give up. We can't be critical on what we give up for Micah Parsons. So what the trade ended up being, we were pretty close. Interesting for the player they chose, but Packers traded 2 first-round picks, nailed it, and they traded a starter. They traded Kenny Clark, who was also a player we talked about on last week's show. Obviously, Kenny Clark coming off of a poor season. I believe he's 29. Poor season to his standards. He was double teamed the entire time, is what it is. But he was one of 4 Packer players aged 29 or older on the team. And the Packers want to be young more than anything. So they got a little bit younger with this trade, but then they also got Micah Parsons. So Packers lose their starter in the middle, the guy who's been anchoring the defensive line. I wouldn't be truthful if I didn't say I'm a little concerned about that loss. However, they gain one of the best defensive players this league's seen in a decade in Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Not only one of the best defensive players, just like one of the best football players that currently plays football. So really when you boil down to it, you can have all these different opinions. And they gave up too much, they would blah blah blah. Kind of feels like everyone's in the same boat. When Micah Parsons is available, you go and get Micah Parsons, and you don't look back. You don't care what you give up. If you truly believe that you're a Micah Parsons away from winning a Super Bowl, then this is an incredible move. Are the Packers a Micah Parsons away from winning the Super Bowl? Maybe. I think there's probably some other areas that can need improvement. But adding a top, I know NFL Network just came out with their top 10, right? Which is a crazy list. But Micah Parsons is probably top 10 player in football right now. If you add a top 10 player in football, you're instantly looked at, as one of the better teams. So yeah, this is a great trade. The one other thing about Kenny Clark is it's the last of Ted Thompson's guys, right? So Brian Gutekunst finally has his own team. He got rid of everything before him, and he made. This is everything that Brian Gutekunst has done has led up to this team, what it is right now. There's some great players on this team. There's some not so great players on this team. There's some great contracts on this team. There's some not so great contracts on this team. This is a good football team right now. I know it's a lot different than probably our sentiment last week. But again, when you add a top 10 player in football, your team instantly becomes that much better, right?
It has to. There's just so many things that just away from the X's and O's that Micah Parsons adds to this defense. So I will say, and I will only say this for a brief moment because we don't need to dwell on this, but for a second, I looked at this defense and just thought, man, if only we could have given Rodgers this.
Yeah.
It would have had Like, why couldn't we have done this? But it is what it is. We got this team now. I think there's a lot to be worked out on this defense because we keep both edge rushers and then we add Micah Parsons, who is kind of either an edge rusher or he's an off-ball outside linebacker in a 3-4. Packers don't run 3-4. Packers still keep their 2 edge rushers, so a little bit weird of what they do there. They lose their star at inside tackle there in Kenny Clark. Wyatt's good. They got other depth pieces that are fine. Someone's going to have to step up. So I honestly think the Packers' run defense does get worse, but I think what you can do with Micah Parsons once you work out what this defense is actually going to be could be good, and you can move him everywhere essentially. So I think that's fun. I think that's good. I think this move tells me Brian Gutekunst for sure bought himself one more year. Mm-hmm. I think there's a 0% chance he gets fired because I don't think this team got any better this year. But I do think this team is built perfectly to contend next year if certain things go right, because really the only thing Packers need defensively next year is a corner, which needs to be a thing. They lose a first-round pick, but they need to draft a corner on day 2 next year, and then this defense is good, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, as long as Josh Jacobs is there, and if you get anything from Jordan Love this year, then you feel good.
Yeah. I mean, to your point about, maybe this team is really a season and a half away from being, the top dog in the NFL, and you immediately sign him to a 4-year contract. Like, you bring in Micah Parsons, it's not a 1-year rental, right? You're going all in this year. You're bringing him in, and now you're getting now we have him. Now let's build something around him next year. It's going to be a little bit tough, right? Just with $100 million between Jordan Love and Micah Parsons together, but whatever. Again, everything that I'm saying, is whatever. We have Micah Parsons on the team, so does it really doesn't matter? I mean, we saw the Rams win a Super Bowl just getting rid of everything for good players. So if the Packers, in the last off seasons here, you bring in a Xavier McKinney, you bring in a Josh Jacobs, you bring in a Micah Parsons, kind of feels like you're going on there. And I don't know. I know that they didn't trade for McKinney, draft picks didn't go out or whatever, but just the idea of bringing in the veteran players. I mean, Zach, this is what we've talked about for how long now. So is it a one piece away where a corner who's maybe just about to make the jump is available and disgruntled in wherever they are, and it comes to Green Bay, and all of a sudden, hey, Green Bay's got Denver Broncos level, they have a Philadelphia level defense, and it can kind of carry a little bit of the inadequacies on the offense to a Super Bowl, maybe. And you know what? And you know what I'm going to say to that? I'm excited for that. And like I said, I think Mike Parsons kind of clears up a lot of things that you can hide a lot behind Micah Parsons, just how good of a player he is. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I don't necessarily know the point that I was trying to make on this. I just like talking about Micah Parsons being on the Packers now because he's really fucking good at football.
He's really good. I think we're a season away. We better not lose games because of a corner, because that's been the talk the entire offseason. That continues to be the biggest weakness on this team. And if we'll talk about Detroit week 1, and then we got Washington week 2. If we get exposed after weeks 1 and 2 at cornerback, and the Packers don't do anything at cornerback, that's going to be a very big talking point. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about. Like, we could have signed Rasul Douglas up until last week. We could have done so many things. I think it's lazy and embarrassing that Keyshawn Nixon is our cornerback 1, but it is what it is. We'll see. The hope is, right, hey, what's better than 2 edge rushers? It's 3 edge rushers. Let's see if we can find 3 edges to rush and get after the quarterback as fast as we can, so the corners don't have to cover. And there's a chance that happens. That would be fantastic. Whoop-de-doo. Everyone's going to criticize any player getting the contract Micah Parsons got. Everyone's going to be a little upset. The only thing I'll say is you can't say he's not worth that given what he's done and who he is. But then 2, like, this is the player you give it to. This is the player you build around. It's only a bad contract for the Packers because they have Jordan Love's contract. But if Jordan Love isn't the guy and we find that out, that contract may be gone in a couple of years. And then we're building around this Micah Parsons contract, and we're good to go. We have enough young guys right now, though, youngest team in football, that we have the roster that we can spend upwards of $50 million for this guy because the other contracts aren't due yet. Once they're due, different conversation.
You're right.
That's why it's called all in, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people, a thing that a lot of people are missing. I'm going to reiterate it again. Like, we don't just have Mike Parsons for one season to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he's
Right.
on our team for 4 years now. Like, there's a very good opportunity to, to your point of moving money around or whatever you're doing with your money. Right now, you're building this team around Micah Parsons. He's going to be on your team when he's 30 years old in his fourth season, and maybe, maybe beyond that, if it's warranted. So I think that's something that's really exciting, like, in at least in my life, Zach, probably in your life, it's always been built around the quarterback. And while they kind of have built around the quarterback, right? With this team, this quarterback is not the quarterbacks that Green Bay's had in the past. I think it'd be really interesting to see this shift to build around, the edge rusher in, I don't know, Jordan Love's going to be on the team, right? In 2 years. What happens in third year? Maybe it's time to move on from Jordan Love, and you still have, a 28-year-old Micah Parsons dominating the edge.
Well, I mean, this defense and this whole team, NFL's a copycat league, right? I wouldn't put Jalen Hurts up there with any quarterback in terms of how good he is.
Agreed.
He does a couple things well, but he's not like a great passer. It's that defense, it's that run game. You can say the same thing about the San Francisco 49ers, what they've done. You can say the same thing about the Chiefs in recent seasons because of their defense run game when Mahomes was either hurt or they didn't have receivers. Like, that's how they won. Ravens, obviously, I think Lamar Jackson deserves more credit than that, but, same thing. This is what the Packers want to build. This is what it is. This is the Goots team, like you said. And now chips are in the middle, and now we can judge them. Was it fair to judge them before? I don't know. But now it is what it is. But now the big talking point about Micah Parsons, yes, Packers have him. Yes, it's good. Will he play week one? He has been limited at practice. People were talking about how baloney that back injury was when he was in Dallas. They thought he was just going to pop right up. Sounds like there's something happening, something going on. He ended up getting an epidural. So week one, from what everyone's reporting, is seriously in doubt, very much 50-50. This is what I'll say. This is getting milked because Packers, like every other team in the NFL, want to be the center of attention. Micah Parsons, if he does not play week one, it is not because of his back. That's all I'm going to say. He's fine. Those drills in practice, what he's doing, the way he's curving his back, he is fully okay. Is he hurt? Yes, but his status for week one's not in doubt. The best he's going to feel is this recent after an epidural. He's fine. Will it be something that flares up at some point in the season? Very, very much possible. And will this be something that he probably has to get a procedure done in the offseason? Almost definitely, yes. But for right now, I think he's a full go week one, unless the Packers want to have a week to take the pressure off of that, for one, and then for two, figure out how to work him into this defense. Because like I said, he really does not fit for how the Packers have built this entire offseason. So his status in doubt, potentially, but not because of health. And if I had to give a percentage of what he plays, I would still say probably 85% chance he plays. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Again, I'm going to reiterate that we had Micah Parsons for 4 years, so throwing him into the fire, immediately. I'm not going to say it feels foolish, right? You have Micah Parsons, you want to play Micah Parsons. You have a top 10 player in the league, you want him on the field. It doesn't feel like this needs to be, you know, Micah Parsons go out there and get 18 sacks in your first start, whatever. Although it would be kind of fun. Remember when the Bears signed Khalil Mack and he just came in and dominated Green Bay in his first game? Like, that would be
Yeah.
really fun to have. Um, but yeah, to your point, like, an injury is an injury. There's a lot of season left to go here. It'd be such a fucking tease though if he doesn't play week one, right?
I know.
You get everyone all hyped up, and then
For Thursday Night Football, though.
yeah, right. And then you're coming off 4 weeks. That's interesting that you just brought that up. But yeah, you get everyone all hyped up, and then you like lose to the Lions by 3 points on, like, Jared Goff just stands in the pocket all game and does nothing. But whatever. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I think he plays to the extent of how much he plays. I'm not sure. Like this feels like it's perfect for
Agreed.
how they've used Rashawn Gary in the past, right? You rotate him in like every fourth snap, not every fourth snap, but when you boil it to like 20%, comes off the field, whatever. This feels like a great rotation game for all three of the guys to like get your feet wet. I don't think any of them really played. I mean, Ben S did, but nobody really played hard in the preseason, right? So this kind
No.
of feels like a great game for. I'm still a Lucas Ness guy. I know a lot of people are out on him. Rashawn Gary, what we've had our thoughts on him. I think this is a great one for let's get all three guys working right away and just in out. On top of like Kingsley and Agbari too, who's awesome that nobody talks about
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But I think it feels like, especially given how physical and how awesome Detroit's offensive line is, it feels like this could be a game where like let's just get guys reps.
Agreed. And last week when we were talking about the Packers season stuff, because of how we talked about week 2, I think week 2 is a more of a must win than week 1, just
Yeah,
given
for
how we
sure.
project both teams to go. So if you're saving Micah for one game in 10 days or whatever, or less than that, one game and whatever, I think that's the game you choose him for. I think I'd rather have Micah Parsons against Jaden Daniels, who he's familiar with at least a little bit. And then we can have a specific game plan just for him for that game.
Did
Again,
you?
I think he plays both of them, but that's
Yeah.
the game I would choose for him to come back if I had to.
Did you see the TV map for the game on Sunday, the 325 games?
No.
So like the whole country is, I think it's Detroit, Green Bay, except for Texas because they have Houston Rams or whatever the game is, and
Hmm.
so all Texas is Houston is a Houston game, except for Dallas, it's Green Bay game. It's very funny.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
They're all going to be watching for sure,
yeah,
and cheering so fucking loud against him. But yeah, so Micah Parsons, limited participant in practice today. Moving on to the injury report. The only player who really did not practice today at all, and he didn't practice today at all, is Jaden Reed. It sounds like he's probably going to come back to practice either tomorrow or Friday and just test it. But he's one that, maybe 50-50 is generous if he plays. If he really responds super well to practice, I guess maybe he plays. But again, if he's coming back for one game on a short week with 2 back-to-back here, I think he comes back for Washington because that's the more must-win game. And because it's a long season, you don't need to be rushing Jaden Reed back. So if he doesn't go, then all of a sudden we have, I guess, Wicks probably playing that third wide receiver spot. We'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah, Jaden Reed has to be a contributor in this offense this year. Not that he wasn't last year, not that he wasn't year before that, but just for this offense to work, right? You need to have that guy who hits those long crossing routes and who can work in motion behind the line of scrimmage and all that. He's got one of those weird little Jones fractures in his foot or whatever,
Yeah,
where
it's not good.
it's even if you like sneeze, you can re-injure it, and this really does not feel like a game where he should play, where he needs to play. Even Washington too. That doesn't feel like a game he really needs. I know they need to win that game, but it really, if you want Jaden Reed this year, I don't necessarily know he should play week 1 and 2. It's a really weird injury that can you get in and like if he does play, it's going to nag him all year. It's going to be one of those kind of things. He's not going to be at 100%. It feels better in my mind. It feels better. You sit him first 2 week, try to get him as close to 100% before you send him out against Cleveland week 3.
Yeah, definitely such a shitty injury. It's very painful. It's the worst. So
Especially with a guy who I mean, this is obvious to say, but like uses his feet to make a living, right? Especially Jaden Reed working underneath, working routes, motion, running, all this different kind of stuff. Not just a straight line guy. He has to cut and do all this stuff. So
right.
it's pretty big. It's pretty big injury for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he makes a living with his quickness more than his speed. He's not like a Watson straight line speed guy. He's constantly changing directions. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the exact thing that's injured. So not the best. Other people who were limited were Zane Anderson, knee injury. It said Nate Hobbs didn't participate. I literally saw him participate. He's probably fine with a knee injury. We'll see.
Yeah,
Ellen Jenkins was added, I guess, with a hip injury, whatever. Jordan Love was a full participant. Micah Parsons limited. Sorrell was limited with a knee injury. Wicks was limited with a calf injury. And Savion Williams limited with a hammy. I assume everyone's going to play other than Jaden Reed. That would be my guess. Do you see that any differently?
Yep. Same. Nope.
And then Lions, I have theirs as well. They didn't actually practice today, so it's just estimation. But the only one two who did not practice would be Sion Vaki, who is third or fourth running back, special teams guy. And then Trevor Nowaski, a linebacker, elbow injury. I can only assume a special teams guy. I don't know who that is. So Lions, unfortunately, seem to be pretty healthy. So is what it is there. Let's talk that Lions game though, because we've said I think there's no doubt they're the best team in this division, but there's no better time to play the Lions than week 1. And that's because they lost their offensive coordinator, they lost their defensive coordinator, and there's just a lot of change happening. However, if there's one team who I think is going to come out of the gates ready to hit, we see a lot of terrible tackling in the first couple of weeks of the season just because a lot of teams haven't had much contact. Lions aren't one of those teams. The Lions will come out ready to hit. So the Packers need to be ready to go right away. Don't need to have time to wake up. I believe Packers' first home week 1 game in 7 years or so.
Something like that.
So I think the benefit of having that home crowd is going to be massive. To have some energy in this Packers team that definitely starts out slow sometimes. But getting the plays into Jared Goff, stuff like that. There could be miscommunications. There could be game day miscommunications. I love that the Packers get to play the Lions right now. That does not mean it's going to be an easy game. I'm going to look up the spread right now. I didn't do that. I completely forgot. But I still think Lions probably have their edge, and that's because we know the Lions are going to lean on the run game, the thing that kind of just got worse without Kenny Clark.
Yeah, right. I mean, we know that Dan Campbell is going to have the boys buzzing. The Lions are going to come on hitting. I think the Packers come on hitting too as well. To your point about you get the home game, you get the idea, you get the energy going. This Lions team has very quickly kind of taken over as for a while there, or I guess forever. It's always been right. Packers Bears is a rivalry, and then Vikings got somewhat got good within the 2010s. They came in there. It kind of feels like the Lions have kind of filled that spot now because of those scumbag fans, that scumbag Amon-Ra St. Brown. But so I think energy's coming up for this one. This is the one where, as always, I've said it. I think I've said it every time that we've ever talked about a week 1 game. This is one where I want the Packers to receive, and I want them to chuck a bomb to Matthew Golden immediately to start the game and set the tone, and do the opposite of what happened with Christian Watson. Now, if wide open 75-yard touchdown, Packers need to cut him immediately.
Yeah, that's bad juju. We just got to get that out of here. To my surprise, Packers are the favorites in this game. So that's very interesting.
I'm sure you don't have like a historical, like how much did that change after they signed Micah Parsons would be my question.
That's a good question. I'm going to see if I can find that. At the moment, Packers are favored by 2.5, 47.5 point over under, but home team a lot of times gets 1.5, can go up to 3.5 depending on the environment. So in my mind, books are giving this essentially a pick'em game with the the little bit of bias going towards the home team there.
And I mean, that makes sense, right? Packers come in and sign a top 10 guy. The Lions are probably a better team. The Packers, this is a really an opportunity. The Packers can steal one in the division. And given that they're at home, it makes sense that they have a point or two in their favor.
Yeah, I would think so. I should be able to get the Packers. Okay, here we go. Here's the odds. Give me some. Did they get rid of this? Movement. Yes, thank you. Here we go. So the Packers started as. Oh, they've been favored the entire time.
Oh.
That feels weird, does it not?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
They opened as 1.5 point favorites and then just moved to 2.5.
Oh,
I don't know. That feels weird to me. For a team that won one divisional game last year, it just feels weird that that's the case. But I think maybe everyone's thinking the exact same things that we started it off talking about with the best time to play Detroit. I will say, okay. So if I'm afraid of one player on this team, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to do his thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm afraid of David Montgomery. He's always kills the Packers, and I'm deathly afraid of him getting into a rhythm up the middle, because if he can create like second and short, third and short opportunities for Jared Goff, that's where we can't let this defense, the Packers defense is their strength all of a sudden. It feels weird to say. If that defense gets neutralized, it's going to be a long day.
And it's going to get neutralized. Not that it's going to, but it would get neutralized by that. That Dave Montgomery come out and you pound them 5 straight runs, and they pick up 30 yards in the first five plays of the game.
Right.
Only to have Jahmyr Gibbs come in and snake the touchdown at the end. That's spoken as someone who's only ever owned David Montgomery in fantasy and never owned Jahmyr Gibbs. But
Yeah.
either way, to your point. I feel like we're just a broken record when we talk about Packers Lions games, right? The key to stopping this Lions offense outside the run is you have to make Jared Goff move in the pocket, right? If Jared Goff sits back there all day, he's going to find Amon-Ra St. Brown wide open over the middle of the field every single play. I mean, they scored 50 points a game last year by him doing that. So maybe bringing in a Micah Parsons for that pass rush, maybe just totally to neutralize that. That's the only thing that Brian Gutekunst is thinking about. We can't let Jared Goff. Now that's not the reason, but you can't let Jared Goff just sit back there and do that. But I think a lot of that's going to have to be pressure up the middle too, right? You don't have Kenny Clark anymore. You need Devontae Wyatt to take a center and a guard, and I think you need to throw linebackers blitzing at him too. Whether that's Quay Walker, Quay Walker feels like he should just like blitz every single play of the game. He doesn't do much in the defensive backfield, so just run at the football wherever it is. And it feels like he's a guy who can kind of take off some heads in this game, especially if you get that scumbag Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle, take his fucking head off.
I'm also not Micah Parsons. I'm not a Amon-Ra St. Brown fan. I'm not sure which St. Brown is my least favorite though, because I hate
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra. Neither of them have much of a personality. Amon-Ra has zero. He like sucks the air out of a room whenever he speaks, which I can't handle. He's a scumbag. EQ sucks. EQ just annoys me, and I'm not sure which one I dislike more.
Yeah, he's like, he's just Thanasis. Like, who cares?
Yeah. I'm going to click this comment, not because I want to break. Does it show his name if I click it? I don't know what your name is, sir, but thank you. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Or ma'am, I guess. Who knows? But yeah. I don't even know what I was talking. Okay, so the other thing is, again, we're talking about Keyshawn Nixon as an outside corner now. The cornerback 1 now. If that's Jameson Williams versus him too. So that he's going to get tested. Yeah, he's going to be tested right away. We'll see what he can do, because it's him. It's going to be Tesla on the outside. The other side, he's a big dude. So he's going to be physical, I assume, with Nate Hobbs. And then we got Amon-Ra against probably Javon Bullard for a lot.
Yeah, that scares. That's really scary.
Yeah, and Packers I can only assume, will want to blitz Bullard a lot. The thing the Packers can do is, with Micah Parsons now, offenses rather, thinking completely opposite. Offenses are going to call him the Mike, which just means the offensive line is going to count and rule their adjustments off of him. They're going to shift towards him. So Bullard, I can only assume, is going to corner blitz off the opposite side of Micah a lot. And that would be the great opportunity to do a twist then with Quay Walker on the opposite side of Parsons too. That's the benefit of getting Micah Parsons here, because one, offensive lines will always call their shifts off of him. They will always call the protection off of him. And Micah Parsons lines up fucking everywhere. So it just takes the offensive line a couple more seconds to figure out, one, where the hell is number 1 on this team? And then, okay, now we got to count and pass off and figure out what's going on. And then if the Packers are showing a million different things, which they can, because they can move their 3 safeties anywhere, they can move Micah anywhere, they can probably move Quay Walker a number of different places. That's where this defense can get super, super, super fun if they're all on the same page, know their assignment, know everything. The issue is we're changing everything now. We weren't even cohesive with McKinney out this entire preseason. Now we had Micah, which is a different part of this defense. I'm very worried about this Packers defense pre-bye for when we're doing our predictions later. I think they'll figure it out at some point.
Yes.
I just think it's going to take time.
Yes.
It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to gel, right? The nice thing is you come in, I guess, you don't have Jair Alexander, you don't have a Kenny Clark, you don't really have those guys that, or the pillars of we can build around, or not we can build around these guys, but we can work off these guys, right? We know what Jair Alexander's going to do. We know what Kenny Clark's going to do. We don't know what Keyshawn Nixon's going to do. I think we have an idea of what Devontae Wyatt's going to do, but what is Nazir Stakos going to come in and do? Even, I love him, but what is Micah Parsons going to do? We don't know what Micah Parsons is going to do, whether for the better or worse. It's all right to your point. It's all about that cohesion. You need to be able, again, I'll make the same reference I make all the time, but like as a basketball team, you go out there and you know that your guy's going to be in the corner. You know that your guy's going to cut as soon as he throws it off a pass. If you go out there and play with four guys you never played before, everyone's going to play off, going to play not timid, but they're going to play timid and let the other guy step up and do what he does. So yeah, to your point, yeah, I agree that there could be some early rumbling, not early, missteps or early rumblings that look like things that are really easy to fix. And I'm sure they're going to be, after that week 5, once, things are figured out. And once Nazir Stakos knows what Xavier McKinney is going to do.
Right. And I was worried about cohesion with McKinney out. I'm worried about everything right now because it's not just cohesion with this defense right now. They have installs that now have to happen because Micah Parsons is a whole defense in himself. So they're going to have to install a completely new defense on the fly quickly while Micah's limited at practice. And it's just, there's a lot going on. So yeah, first 4 weeks. Yeah, first 4 weeks is tough. Having 2 very quick games playing on a short week in week 2, that's tough. We'll see what happens. Then on the other side now, so what can the Packers offense do to Lions defense? It is going to be Rasheed Walker starting at left tackle. I can only assume a short leash. We'll see what happens. But him or Zach Tom are going to get the return of Aiden Hutchinson. And I think that's the story of this game. Because if Aiden Hutchinson's living in the backfield, it's going to be a tough day. He is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have said that Aiden Hutchinson is the best pass rusher in this division
for sure
up until, Thursday of last week, right? Yeah, he's a game wrecker. I mean, was he on the Michigan team that won the championship? Either way, he was like top 3 in the Heisman voting. I mean, we saw what he can do before his torn ACL. He was like, on pace for like a 25
He was the sack leader like 3 weeks after he was already out for the season.
Yeah, the guy is just a nuts psycho player. And on top of that, Detroit is full of a bunch of, whether they're good at football or not, but a bunch of, I like to call them Patrick Beverleys out in the secondary too. He'll hit you and they'll hit you. They'll talk to you. They don't care if they're, if they're giving up 15 yards. They're scary dudes to play against. So to your point, like this Lions defense is a lot better than it has been. I guess before they became good or whatever you want to say. But on top of that, like, there's some men out there that they'll hit you and they'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm as much as I want to watch Micah Parsons play, I'm very excited for Packers defense versus Lions or Packers offense versus Lions defense because Packers are going to run the ball like that. That just is what it's going to be. Yeah. So it's going to be men football. It's going to be blood ball. It's going to be a very physical game. It's going to be a fun game. I'm glad the entire country gets to watch it.
Yeah, this is Big Ten football.
Yes, this is a game that I wish we were playing on the cold winter Lambeau Field, but these divisional games to start suck. I've said it every single show. I hate it. I guess it gets people invested early, but
I like it. I was gonna say I like it as it's solely through the point of view of viewing 2 teams that hate each other. Play right away. You get the feelings right away. But if you look at it through any other lens, it makes no sense for division games to happen.
Yeah. I mean, the teams are gonna be so different at the end of the year, but is what it is. Okay, so score predictions. Then we're gonna give our season predictions. We'll go game by game. Actually, no. We might as well start with that, because then we can predict this game there. Here we go. So let's do blue. Oh, that's way too big. Oh no, it's too small. Goldilocks. Okay, so this side's gonna be me. This side can be you.
Okay.
My prediction for this game, unfortunately, I think the Packers lose. I don't know why they're favored. It kind of blows my mind a little bit. I think it's going to be a close one, though. Do I not have my paintbrush? What's going on here? I have an eraser out. Wait. Oh, I don't? What's going on?
You have a red eraser?
I don't know what's going on. Why can't I just... Okay. Show my Photoshop skills right now. What?
We will. Cut it in post.
It doesn't make sense. There. Okay. Now I have it. Great. Okay. So I think Packers lose this game. I do think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go Packers lose 27-23. So loss.
Yep. I'm with you. Same thing. I was 27-24.
I think Lions end up getting some big plays, and that's what's going to come back to bite them. I realize we are not currently up there.
Oh, no, they already lost to the... Hey, we got it right, though.
Sure. We'll just take the win there. So I'm going to go lost there. You went lost there.
Yep.
Okay. Thursday Night Football. Home again. They get the Washington Commanders. Packers have struggled against mobile quarterbacks in the past. Preseason, if it's any indication, though, they definitely bottled them all up and did well there. This is such a close game. For whatever reason, and maybe I'll change my tune next week, but I feel like the Packers are going to win this game. I'm
with you.
I'm just not a believer in so many things on Washington. I feel like they could end up being a little bit of posers to me.
Yeah, I like Jaden Daniels. I don't really like much else. I mean, we're going to trust Cliff Kingsbury to put together another good season, maybe. I think this Washington defense, especially the defensive line, is not great. I think they got a lot of their wins last year on Jaden Daniels put the team on my back, and let's get it done. Which it's a lot of fun to watch. But I mean, we're talking about a Washington team that's coming back, coming off of an NFC Championship berth. I don't see it like this. Almost could feel like a team that misses the playoffs in my mind.
Yeah, I completely agree. And
on top of it, they play two hardest divisions in football, NFC North and AFC West.
Yeah, that's tough. And again, this is a huge game for both of these teams. If Washington loses this, that's not going to be an easy path to the playoffs, because that means that's just one game down in the wild card, assuming they don't beat the Eagles for the division. Week 3, we got the Browns. I'm going to go with a win again. I will say this is going to be tougher than I think people expect, depending on the quarterback play. But the Packers can't be looking ahead to Dallas because Cleveland will punch them in the mouth. And they got a very good defensive line. So if the Packers are not winning and they actually have to set up and pass protect, I think that could be a scary thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a win. I think this is one where you boil it all down. I think just the better team wins this game. I do agree with you. You're gonna get. I think you get Joe Flacco, a quarterback. Joe Flacco's not gonna make many mistakes. It's gonna be on the Packers to win this game. They're not just gonna get handed to them.
Sunday Night Football game. Packers go to Dallas. Obviously circled on Micah Parsons' schedule. All eyes there. Jerry Jones is going to be fired up for that one. And I got to tell you, I don't love it. I am a little afraid, and it feels like this is a game Jerry is going to be like, I told you so. Look at us now. I hate it. So I think the Packers are going to lose. I think the Cowboys are going to run all over the Packers.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I think I'm going to go with a win here, though, because I just love the idea of Micah Parsons coming in and getting 6 sacks. Not that it's going to happen, but just a big fuck you to Jerry. If there's any game for a player to put the team on his back for the Packers this season, it's Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, Packers are so known for huge performances against the Cowboys, especially in Dallas, right? And we talked about a couple of weeks ago, this is a very different Packers team. Who's the player who can actually do that at this point? Now they got one. So to your point, maybe that's what happens.
Yep.
Bye week comes against an opponent that I think the Packers would love to game plan for. That's good. But in the AFC, we don't need extra time to play an AFC opponent. Regardless, I think the Packers are going to struggle to keep up. I think it's going to be a track meet for both teams. But I'm going to go with a high scoring loss there.
Same. Agreed.
Yeah, because that Bengals
Agreed.
defense stinks.
I don't think. I mean, yeah. I mean, we saw what Cincinnati did last year in track meets. I know they lost a couple, but even against good defenses like Baltimore and things like that, Joe Burrow was still passing for 450 yards.
Yeah, very true.
It is wild that he against Baltimore last year he combined for 900 passing yards and 8 touchdowns or whatever it was and lost both games.
Insane. He had such a good year. He had an MVP year. It's just that team was so bad everywhere else essentially. This next game is tough for me. I'm going to let you pick it first. I really don't know. The Packers go to Arizona week 7, 3:25 game. Cardinals are a tough team, but I really don't know what to make of them.
Yeah, I'm going to mark this one down as a win. But I think that Arizona is in a situation probably come this week 7 game where you've had Jonathan Gannon for what this is the second, third year. I mean, the Kyler Murray thing's been going on for a while now. This really if Arizona starts, through the first 7 weeks with even 4 losses, if they're under 500, I think that there's some not so happy fans in the stands. I know a lot of people are kind of predicting Arizona to be a team that maybe could work out of the woodshed here. I still have yet to see anything that I've ever liked from Kyler Murray outside of playing Madden. So I don't know. I think on paper the Packers are a better team, and usually that's what I default to. So give me the Packers.
I'm still torn. I'm gonna go with a loss. The one thing Kyler Murray does well, and there's very few things to your point. The way he goes off schedule, off time in terms of just scampering around and extending plays, it kind of neutralizes the pass rush. And if the one thing on the defense gets neutralized for the Packers, it better not be the pass rush because that's definitely their strength. So I'm a little afraid of Trey McBride having one of those 200-yard games against the Packers, to be honest. Now, another Sunday night game. Get to play Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh when they get to play Renegade and do their whole thing, right? Very interesting game. I think it's probably a low-scoring game. I'm just not going to go against Aaron Rodgers in prime time, especially with Mike Tomlin, especially with TJ Watt, especially with DK Metcalf, especially with everybody there. So I'm going to go Steelers in a close, low-scoring game.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I agree.
Fun game, though. A lot of fun games on the Packers schedule, I would say. So I picked 4 losses in a row. Time to get out of that. They get to play the Panthers. That's fantastic news. Get right game, hopefully. Build up some confidence before Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Yep. This should be a game where, if to your point, even if it's 4-3-2, even if it's a loss to Pittsburgh, it's probably an emotional loss. This is a game where you just go and kick the shit out of the worst team.
Now, evading all logic here, this feels like an Eagles game that the Packers wins. They get to play at Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Some.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm talking aloud as you're. I
think the Eagles are by far the best team in the NFL roster wise. I think they are one of the best coach teams. I think they have one of the best defensive coordinators in NFL history. I think that defense is completely loaded. It just feels like a game that Saquon Barkley doesn't play. It feels like a game Jalen Hurts is banged up. It feels like a game that Packers fans get a little bit of too much confidence thinking we just beat the team that keeps beating us. They're the Super Bowl team. Now that we beat the Eagles, we are about, according to Zach's picks, about 500. Nothing stands in our way at this point. We can run the table. Our destiny's in our own hands, and we've already beat the team that's our biggest hurdle. And then, tough end of the year. So we'll see what happens down there. But it feels like a game Packers are going to get into a little bit of false sense of confidence here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I'm marking this as a loss. If I'm doing this logically, realistically, if I'm going through and marking down, I'm going through and thinking every single game for every team, who's the better team in this game? Philadelphia doesn't lose a game all year in my mind.
They shouldn't be underdogs in any game whatsoever, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're very good. Now Packers go to the Giants. I'm going to go with this being another win. Giants are a team that absolutely scares me with their front seven. However, Who knows who's at quarterback for the Giants at this point? Who knows what their offense is at this point? Who knows if their head coach is there at this point? So I'm going to go with a win.
Yep. Too many question marks around the Giants. Although that front seven is diabolical.
It's so fun. It's so good. Packers get a home game against the Vikings. Again, who knows what the Vikings are at this point? But I will. It's home, so I'm going to go. The Packers get. Yeah, Packers get a win. Packers get a win at home against the Vikings.
I think I'm going to be opposite on you on both Vikings games then, because I think this is a loss. I think this is one where. Team. Yeah, I think this is one where Vikings come in and kind of smash them in the mouth a little bit here. I mean, Packers fans rightfully to talk shit about JJ McCarthy, right? He hasn't played yet, and everyone's all hyping him up and everything. But I like he can play. Kevin O'Connell said many times, he's like one of the better coaches in the NFL in my mind. He'll put JJ McCarthy in a good spot, and I think that offense is just too much for the Packers. Especially nobody talked about how awesome their offensive line is now after the offseason. That really scares me. So
very true.
To be honest, and maybe it's because I'm biased against the Lions now. Before Micah Parsons, the Vikings were my pick to win the division. I'm not going to say the Packers are my pick now, but I would have to rethink about it.
Sure. That's fair. Packers then have a short week once again to play on Thanksgiving against the Lions at noon. Don't love that. I don't want to play against the Lions on Thanksgiving. I'm going to go with that being a loss, especially after the Packers embarrassed them a couple years ago at this point on Thanksgiving. So I think that's still in the mind of a couple of them. I think Lions just play steady, good football there.
Yep, I agree.
I think the trend continues. They get to play the Bears at home. I think the Bears are a good football team. I think the Bears are going to knock them off. Bears could be an absolute dumpster fire at this point in the year. That would be awesome to see. If I'm just thinking narratives, I think Bears get the first win, and then they're going to be very cocky, very confident, and the Bears get embarrassed at home later in the season, in my opinion.
I think this is a win for the Packers.
Okay.
I think the Bears are a dumpster fire at this point. I think we're already looking for a new head coach. I think our quarterback is kind of whining right now. And I think, as always, the media is not going to help much about going on in Chicago. They're going to start 2-5, and the whole world's going to come crashing down. Green Bay's going to take advantage of it, as they should.
They should. Packers go a mile high then to Denver.
I hate this game.
Yeah, me too. Arguably the toughest defense in the NFL. Offensively, it's just going to be a lot of quick passes, a lot of running the football, solid football under Sean Payton. I'm going to go Packers lose that one.
Agreed. I mean, they were there, 2 years ago against a bad Broncos team and lost. So now they're going against a good Broncos team. It's a loss.
Agreed. Packers then have a Saturday game, so kind of a short week, but going to Chicago, I already said they're going to get that win. Bears are going to be a little too confident.
I'm marking this up as a win too. I think sweep the Bears this year.
Love that. That'd be great. How do you feel about the Ravens game?
I think it's a loss. It might be 35-0 loss.
Yeah, I don't want to be playing. It's like, hooray, Packers get they get 2 December games. They get one against the Bears at home, and then the other Lambeau Snow game is against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. That sucks. That's no fun.
Yeah, if I had to, Zach and our time doing these shows together, if I had to sum up maybe our most quoted line on this, it's Derrick Henry's incredible in the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I question how good of tacklers the Packers are going to be as well. So not a good combo. And then the Packers end the season at Minnesota. They're indoors. I will go. I'm going to go with a loss again.
Me too.
Close one for me. Okay.
No.
Ooh.
So the last couple of years, it's always been that last game, right? Where and I know the Packers have gotten into the playoffs, right? But it's been if we win this, things are looking good for us. Oh, we didn't, but we skated as a 7 seed. Who cares? They lost to the Lions and Aaron Rodgers last game. That one kind of sucked. They lost to the Bears last year. These last games have kind of been tough. I think they right their wrongs here. I think take the Vikings down. I guess I'm splitting with the Vikings here and taking the last game. And maybe this is to get the 5th, 6th seed. Vikings get the 6th, 7th seed.
Okay, well, let's see. So for you have 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. So you're looking at a 9-8 season. So yeah, maybe they sneak into the playoffs with that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have a 7-10 season, which does feel like the Packers to me. So I guess that's probably accurate. So middle of the road, maybe they sneak in. Maybe they're one of the first teams out. That's kind of how we're feeling.
Yeah, in my mind, just on paper, this like the Packers should be better than a 9-8 team. They have a tough schedule. I think is what it boils down to.
That schedule at the end of the season, 4 out of the last 6 are on the road. Only 2 of them are not division, and those 2 games are the Broncos and the Ravens.
Yeah,
it stinks.
Yeah. I to your point, going full circle back to the show, like maybe the Packers are still a year away yet, and we can build around Micah Parsons. This might be hey, we did good this year. Now let's do it next year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for me personally that the Packers finish last in this division. Not great, whatever. Next year, I think they're built roster-wise to contend, and if we're playing other teams' worst divisional team, you know what I mean? They get to play that 4th place one. It could set up nicely for the Packers. I can't remember which divisions we play next year as well, but it could set up pretty nicely for the Packers, I think. Now,
I'm excited for that Pittsburgh game.
Me too. There's a few very fun games here.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very fun games. We got Monday night against Philly. We got some interesting divisional games. I love seeing the Ravens whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, good ones. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, though.
Oh yeah.
PackerNews.com. Shout out Sarah Klopping. Lambeau Field's new menu items for the 2025 season. So I have not seen them. Luke has not seen them. I don't know how many there are, but let's rank these out of 10. Just how bad we want to try them, or how good we think they're going to be. Which one?
How good? How good? I mean, I'm gonna want to try them all. So I think if we do that, it'd be 10. So just based on the idea of it, the whole overall, the vibes you're getting from it.
Okay, I don't know if there's prices or not. That'd be cool. But let's see. So first one is the Bracho. So brat nacho.
Oh hell yeah!
With tater tots, it looks like as chips, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
I wish there's some description on here.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, those aren't chips. I mean, those are definitely like little potato coins there.
Are you sure? Yeah, are they like tater tots?
Yeah.
So they're
brats and tater tots with guac and cheese, and that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like a loaded potato. Yeah, it looks fucking awesome. 10.
Yeah, agreed. All right, this might be how this goes, but yeah, that's a home run. That's a banger. 1. Okay.
10.
Loaded big pretzel.
10.
Big Bavarian pretzel, sharp cheddar cheese sauce, crumbled brats, fried sauerkraut, beer cheese mustard sauce, and beer mustard. Yeah, 11. That sounds so good.
I'm going down to 9 because I don't like sauerkraut, but everything else, it looks incredible.
It feels, not to be that guy. I'll play Trevor's role right now. How am I going to eat this at a Packer game? That's fair, but this is going to be delicious.
No, I don't think that's fair. I think it's buy it and you just get all fucking messy and slopped up in the stands, and you just be a pig in there.
I mean, I don't know if there's a different way to do it. So
right.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Next one, cheesy nuggets. So Tyson cheesy nuggets. It says,
interesting.
All white meat chicken nuggets infused with cheddar cheese.
So this is definitely a Trevor item, but
yeah,
this is one to me. This is one where you bring in your 9-year-old to their first Packer game, and this is what you get them. This is a 5 to me. Not that it doesn't sound awesome, but this does not compare to the loaded brat potato or the Bavarian pretzel, huge pretzel.
And they're just Tyson chicken nuggets, which are mid. They're okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
This reminds me, Burger King a long time when I was in college, at least I think, they had the like Cheeto items. So they had like Cheeto chicken fries. That's what this is, and they were weird. They were okay. Yeah, I'll go 6. Like I don't think they'll be bad. So
yeah, I mean you're gonna get them. You're gonna like them. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm not upset if I don't get these.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I'm missing out. Barbecue pull apart. King's Hawaiian rolls, barbecue pulled pork, and sweet and spicy pickles. I mean, I love that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I'll go 8.
Yeah, I'm about a 7.5 to 8 here, as far as like mind blowing, you know,
Right.
shredded brats and shit. That's not it, but this is, I mean, pickles and barbecue are incredible, and pull apart. You're just getting sliders, awesome. I bet these are the most expensive one though so far, if I had to guess.
I think the pretzel. I
Maybe,
think they're
yeah,
gonna kill you for that pretzel.
yeah.
I'm wondering what the number is. Like, do you order it and you get 6? Because there's no way, right?
That's why I think it's expensive. If you're getting a 6 pack, I mean that's $30 probably.
Agreed. I think pretzel are probably similar. A bento box, interesting. For Green Bay, we got choice of beef or chicken, fried rice, kimchi, cucumber salad, egg rolls, and a custom fortune cookie. What's that mean? A custom fortune cookie? Is it just gonna be like Packers will get a first down? Like what's a custom fortune cookie?
Right. This is a 0 to me. I like all these foods. This is not. You're getting down and dirty in the stands with this kind of food. I'm not getting this.
That's fair. I'll give it the same as the Nuggets, a 6. I think I would get this before the Nuggets, in all honesty, but it's not a game food though. You're right.
Yeah, I would make fun of someone for getting this, even though I would. I mean, I like all
Sure.
all this food.
Yeah, it's good food. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll get that. Meatball
here
sub.
we go.
Interesting. Why we got this? Meatball sub, marinara, provolone.
There's gonna be so many meatballs rolling around the ground. Oh, it'll be great.
That's so weird. Like, I'll give it a 7. Sure, it's just weird. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Yeah, this is a good bit. This is a 9 to me. Like, I love meatball subs, man. It's like one of my favorite sandwiches of all time. I'm talking about, if you're talking about getting down and dirty and messy and sloppy in the stands, this is what's gonna do it for you.
I used to not like the thought of a meatball sub until I had one. And I haven't had Subway in general, I think in like 6 years or so. If I go back to Subway, it might be for the meatball sub.
Yeah.
It's fine at Subway. It's just all one thing, but it's okay.
The issue with this, right, is you're gonna have to eat this with 2 hands, which probably means that you're putting your beer down. You're not gonna be able to, sit and clap and cheer and high five and stuff. You're just gonna be fistful of meatball, which is great on some occasions. I don't necessarily know that it plays at a game, but hey, if you're getting down and mucky in the stands, I'm for it.
I want to shake the hand of the first person to order a meatball sub and one of those pretzels. It's like you have your day planned. There's nothing else to do.
That's like a whole weekend's worth of food.
Yeah, no kidding. Next we got some ice cream. Looks like Sarah's Artisan Gelato. Assorted flavors is all it says. So this one's chocolate peanut butter pretzel. So
good.
It's good.
Yeah. 6.
Yeah, it's 6. I don't know if I'd order it at a game though.
I will say, going to like Brewer games and Bucks games, and I guess even the Lions game we went to, going around, like the one thing that's kind of missing from Packer stands are ice cream. It's probably due to being in the north, cold or whatever. I mean this is you getting some of that ice cream treat in. I imagine this is gonna sell year round because ice cream is like the greatest thing to ever exist. So I think it's fine. I think people like it. I think this is probably one that's very much overcharged for a cup of ice cream, but whatever.
I'm going to knock it a point. I'm going to go down to a 5. So this is the lowest one for me so far. And it's not because of what it is necessarily. And I think there is a short shelf life. Like, I don't necessarily know if I want this in -20, but I'm sure it's fine. Like, I don't know. I have a love for just leaning into like our culture. And I feel like it should be custard.
Yeah, it's also. I'm also looking back at the yellow back there, and I immediately thought it was going to be like cheese flavored custard, which would have been great. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, like if it was custard, I'd be more about it. Like even just serving Culver's custard there, I think would be sick.
Yeah.
Wings, buffalo buttermilk brined jumbo wings, with a choice of buffalo garlic parm dry rub or game day special. It doesn't say what it is.
So, I mean, in my mind, buffalo wings are incredible always. So 10. I mean, if you're, but like, how many are on the plate here? Like 3 of them?
1, 2,
4?
3, 4. There's something back there. Maybe 6.
Maybe a 6 bagger. I feel like that's not enough buffalo wings.
Agreed. Yeah, if I'm doing wings, I want a lot of wings. It doesn't make sense to have like a tiny appetizer to me. So
Also, is this one where you get it and then you're sitting in the bathroom an hour later at halftime?
maybe, possibly, that's a good point. It's also again one of those foods you can only eat it so fast unless you're Joey Chestnut or something. So I feel like they get cold really fast, and I don't want a cold wing.
Yeah.
7 for me.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah, agreed. I mean, you never pass up wings. I'm just thinking my stomach's gonna be talking to me after tailgating, drinking beer all morning, and first thing at noon for lunch you're eating chicken wings with yeah. This is not
I
a
agree.
great in my mind. This is more of a hot
Cutting out a little bit. Refresh. I'll keep the people. I don't refresh, and I'll keep the people talking. We won't be moving ahead on the list without Luke. We will stay put here. Jacob Thorson, quick fantasy question here. Start 1: Igbuka, Pickens, Warren, or Ridley. I wouldn't do Warren, but I would choose the highest ranked wide receiver in my rankings. I'd go check those out. Okay. Next one here. Okay, a hot Italian sub.
Hell yeah.
Ham, hard salami, pepperoni, provolone, Italian herbed oil, giardiniera, and provolone. Okay, we're getting Italian this year.
Yeah, big W. This is an 8. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard to not like an Italian sub.
It's good. I get the feeling that we're leaning into the Milwaukee, Chicago fandom that drives up, and I'm not about them. I don't like Milwaukee. Yeah. It's not Wisconsin. It's just lesser Chicago. So
yeah, Milwaukee will not be happy you said that.
Don't care. Fucking pump your water out. Worry about your own shit right now. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, it's an Italian sub. It'll be good.
It looks really good. It makes me want to go get one, to be honest. But
another one that might have your stomach speaking to you with that hot jar.
For sure, 100%. Okay, tenderloin sandwich.
Hell yeah!
We got roasted beef tenderloin, bourbon brown sugar onions, roasted mushrooms, A1 aioli, and a corn dusted Kaiser roll. That looks good.
10.
Yeah, I think so too.
10.
10. That looks very good.
Yep.
Yeah, big W there. Okay, we got an egg roll, brat egg rolls.
Oh.
We got crumbled brats, green and gold fajita mix, cheese curds, and cream cheese.
Yeah, 10. I mean, this is Wisconsin in an egg roll.
Yeah, that's very good. Why that should be served in the bento box.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of the kimchi or whatever the fuck it was. So was there any beer in there? Did you say?
No. Crumbled brat.
They need some beer cheese in there. I was out, just as a quick sidebar here. I was out with a buddy the other day, and you get to the bar, and it may be the most Wisconsin thing I've ever heard come out of someone's mouth. Goes, what do you want to drink? He goes, I'll have a spotted cow and an order of cheese curds.
It is what it is.
But it's Wisconsin.
It goes together so well.
Yeah.
Side note, I got the New Glarus Oktoberfest, the Staghorns out.
How is
my pick for? I think it's better than Spotted Cow personally.
Oh,
but you got to like a Oktoberfest beer.
I'll pick it up. I'll have to pick it up this weekend.
Very good. Okay, we got a brat with a sauerkraut slaw. So not for you, but that's all that says. It's a very mayo-y slaw. I guess, right? It's so white.
Yeah, it looks very drippy and gonna get all on your arms and shit.
Looks like a pretzel bun. Doesn't say that, but I assume that's what that is.
I'm not a fan of pretzel buns. I think we've had this conversation.
It depends. If they're still soft, I like them. If they're too hard, it'll definitely be bad for this. So
yeah,
I love brats. That's really doing a lot of heavy lifting here. I'm going to give it like a 6.5. I feel like they could have done better.
Yeah, that's fair. I should probably exempt myself from this one just because I'm not a sauerkraut guy. But if I was, yeah, I'd probably say 6, 7.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't need to do anything fancy. I assume there's regular brats there still, but
oh
yeah. Green and gold barbecue chicken sandwich, golden chicken, house-made not potatoes, house-made pickles, and King's roll and coleslaw.
Where is the meat?
Yeah, it's all. I don't know.
Is that meat? Is it like a fried chicken sandwich?
It says golden chicken. It looks like tenders almost.
Oh, I mean, either way, it's a chicken sandwich, so it'll be good. 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, here we go.
This is what we already got. This is the same pretzel.
I think I had the same exact reaction.
Yeah, number 10. That looks very good.
I thought it was a pizza.
So did I. Yeah, no, there's a hole in the middle. That looks good though. Okay, so that was it. Which one are you most excited for? I think mine's the pretzel.
I think I blew my load right off the top.
It started hot. It started a lot better than it ended. This looked good though.
Yeah, the tenderloin sandwich, the brat egg rolls, I think are going to be good.
Yeah, the tachos that we started with look good too.
Yeah, I think in terms of just like most mind blowing, awesome, like this is just Wisconsin. It's the pretzel.
Yeah, that thing. It looks big too, so it'd be interesting to see how big. But yeah, that looks incredible. If anybody watching this video goes and gets anything here, definitely let me know. Let us know how they are. Luke, if you end up getting any of these, we definitely need content if you get this pretzel at any point.
Yes.
Yeah, track it down. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I mean, we finally made it, right? We got football tomorrow. It always feels like a long off season, but I think as they kind of, whittle this down to 3 preseason games and you have that week off in the middle, this week just takes forever to get through. So I'm happy football is back. I'm happy Packer football is back. And, whether we're right or wrong in our predictions, I think this will be a really fun Packers team to watch this year.
Yeah, this is going to be such a fun season. Obviously going to be, highs and lows, ups and downs, but I'm excited. It could go a million different directions, and I'm just actually excited to watch it for the first time in a long time. First time since Aaron Rodgers, I guess.
Yeah. But to your point about going like a million directions, I think if it goes any direction, you can make a case of, oh, that makes sense why it went that direction.
Right. I think there's going to be very few flukes in this Packers team. Whatever happens, I feel like it's how, it was planned, essentially. Yeah. And again, very tough end of the season, but not an easy start to the season. I wouldn't overreact either direction after this first game, especially since we have that super short turnaround Thursday night football in week 2, but we will again be live here Wednesday night to talk about that game. A lot of information, obviously, because it'll be the day before the game. We'll pretty much know who's going, who's not going. So definitely join us here, subscribe. And if you want to just listen to Lombardi Sweep, you can also find that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, a couple other podcast networks as well. So if you just want to listen to Lombardi Sweep, like it, subscribe there, like our Facebook page, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.